Alrighty, so I'm going to go over how to use CDDA on just like normal Android phones. So basically, I recommend the Herbert build, which is the current stable build. Any stable build is fine. Experimental on Android, just, I already tried it, doesn't really work. So, I'm going to open this. And so the software rendering and force full screen you want to keep off. The other two you want to keep on. You can't change these settings anymore unless you uninstall and reinstall. So now, it looks like it works, but I'll show you if we load in. It's going to be terrible, and you're not going to hardly be able to see anything. So now that I've loaded in, you can see that this is just awful. It's terrible. You can hardly see. So what I recommend first, go to sidebar options. I recommend structured. And then let's go to options. I don't have any shortcut things at the bottom, so you're gonna want to have to press the back button, and you might have to move around for them to appear. Then we're gonna press tab a couple times. Go to display options. So basically, you want to fill these bars, or you want to fill your screen with the bars. So you want them to be all the way to the maximum before they start changing again. Unless your camera blocks off the view, in which case you can lower the width, but mine doesn't, so I'm going to keep it like that. And then the height, I would recommend keeping it between 30 and 40 for most phones, because there's a bit of a weird thing. Like, I can have this at 30, and then I can lower this, and the bars fit the screen, right? But I might have bits of my log cut off, like a few lines, versus if I have it here and have this turned up. So if you're not getting enough on your log, you either need to experiment with the minimap settings, which I will go over later in the video, or you need to adjust your height. What I personally recommend is like 35, and then change the width. But first, we're going to need to change the shortcut a little bit, the shortcut bar. So I would turn this off. Shortcut height, I recommend 100. And now we'll go back. So this is what I use, 166 and 35. Now you can tinker with these, but in terms of like font and everything, this seems to be the best that I can get. Now I would go to font settings, turn this up to 12, 24, and 24. And now we'll save changes, save and quit because it's not going to apply yet. Really quit, load up the game again. And now you can see it, the main menu is a lot less snug. But trust me, it is going to be a lot better. Now I'm going to load in real quick. You can also see more of this screen too. And now it's done. So look how much more playable this is. This is zoomed all the way in, and this is all the way out. That's a lot better. And now for the sidebar, you'll want to turn off the separators. And now you can see that we have, hang on, let me get out of here real quick. You can see that we have a map, in the bottom right, pixel minimap, but we only have 3 lines of the log. Having less lines of the log could indicate that you need to turn up, let's see, what is it called? The height. You might have to turn up the height if you're not getting enough lines of the log. However, in this case, it's because of the minimap. So down here at the pixel minimap options, you're going to want to change this to 10, turn on the scaling, turn up the beacon size, turn this down to increase the blink speed. Now you can mess around with all this, but this is what I recommend. And if I save and quit, now I have a better map, more lines of the log, and yeah, so I can see all the way out to that road without having to even zoom out. So now back in the graphics settings, so this is all basically playable now, but if you want to change your graphics, you'll have to go to mess around with this. That's basically your overall graphics. This is your map. So if I go in here and open this, I just recommend playing around with it. Doesn't really matter what you use. Sound packs, you need to install those. Now I'll go through all of my settings, including controls, to make things easier. I don't change any of this. In here, I recommend going here, turning this off, or to true, I mean. And on the graphics, we already went through all this. Software rendering, I would turn on if your phone is like really, really, really bad. But if your phone's not bad, don't use this, because it will make the app run like shit. Scaling mode, I don't really know how that works for this on an Android phone and all that, so I'm not gonna mess with it. This is all your default stuff. I would turn this to any. I forget why exactly. I don't think it works properly, or it's not intuitive. I don't remember, just set it to any. And you can choose when you make a character. All this stuff you can just mess around with. Now onto some more fun stuff. The joystick. So the repeat rate centered, this is way too slow. That's half a second for each turn. I would turn this to 200. Repeat rate deflected. I'd make that, no, keep that 100 actually. It's this one, input repeat delay. You need to change that to 250. Now the shortcuts. So this is a little handy little trick, so you don't have to have the keyboard up all the time. You can actually just open this, remove these. So what I would recommend for keybinds, these are all default, except for one that I'm going to show you how to change and everything. So I would do lowercase w, capital W, capital U, S, and asterisk, backslash, X, that parenthesis sign, the at, /, A, capital D, that little doohickey right there, and N, capital R, capital E, and yeah, the N is actually going to be toggle run. So I'm going to save, go to my keybinds, type in run, press the plus at the bottom, press A, and then the new key will be in, press yes. And you'll have to clear these at the bottom down here by swiping on them. And then when there's no more keybinds, it'll default to your defaults. And at any time you want to get rid of one, just swipe. And now I have to continue swiping to get all of them back. But you know, you might go in here and press like this for your weight thing. And now that's at the bottom left. And you might not want that there, so swipe it. And there you go. And now to make the keybinds even better, I recommend that you keep these on always. I recommend this, that's just preference. I like to turn it on. So like if you walk up to a door, C will appear all the way to the bottom left. If this is off, it'll be at the bottom right. If you don't want contextual ones, turn this off, but I don't know why you would do that. Unless you're using like a Bluetooth keyboard or something. So I keep this on. And then turn this off, or else when you save and quit and come back, it'll save it. I like it to default to whatever I set the defaults to. And now a handy little thing for gestures. I would recommend keeping this the same. The tap keys, that's passing turns without moving, basically. And then 2-finger tap. I make that the, where is it? The exclamation point. Oh, whoops. Because that's safe mode, and you'll be toggling that on and off pretty frequently. So I put 2-finger tap, 2-finger swipe up. I make that high for inventory. 2-finger swipe down. K, which I'm actually going to go out real quick because I'm going to change that to auto move. Oh, whoops. Auto travel mode, which I'm going to bind to K. That basically makes it so when I swipe down, auto travel's on. So it'll automatically steer for me. Like if I move towards this bush, it'll go around it. That's useful for going very quickly through places. Right here it's not working properly, but you mainly use it for forests. Now we go back in here. Gestures. These are switched, which is very weird. So this is actually right. I make that capital V for looking around at items and enemies, and then 2-finger swipe right, which is actually left. I make M for the map, and keep these the same. And now swipe left, bring up the map. Swipe right, I can look at this stuff. I can press tab and look through enemies, which there are none. I think there's something out here that I can look at. Yeah, so if I swipe right, see there's a horse. I got my inventory. And I think that's just about everything that I can think of off the top of my head for making it playable.